Good evening, Mamashpaka. I hope you're well. If you're out there paying any attention to current events, you realize we're living in quite the time. So, I have 3 questions. And 3 requests. Do you love him? Do you? Are you sure? Okay. Then feed the sheep. The lambs. They need food. Feed his flock. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my brothers and my sisters, welcome back to another episode of Let There Be Light. My name's Brian. Tonight's episode, talking about feeding the flock. Well, we're reading about feeding the flock. We're going to go through the book here, everything I could find. In reverse order of messages of feeding his sheep. It's very important. So, I pray the Father's with you. I pray the Ruach, the Spirit, is guiding you. May you receive love from everyone who are his. So, I have some colored lights. I like to have fun. And so let's get creative. Start off the book with Revelation 14. And I looked and saw a lamb standing on Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written upon their foreheads. And I heard a voice out of heaven, like the voice of many waters, and like the voice of loud thunder. And I heard the sound of harpists playing their harps. And they sang a new song before the throne, and before the 4 living creatures and the elders. And no one was able to learn that song except the 144,000 who were redeemed from the earth. They are those who did not defile themselves with women, for they are maidens. They are those following the Lamb wherever he leads them. They were redeemed from among men, being first fruits to Elohim and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no falsehood, for they are blameless before the throne of Elohim. And I saw another messenger flying in mid-heaven, holding the everlasting good news to announce to those dwelling on the earth, even to every nation and tribe and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, "Fear Elohim, and give esteem to him, because the hour of his judgment has come. And worship him who made the heaven and the earth and the sea and the foundations of water." And another messenger followed, saying, "Babylon has fallen, that great city, because she has made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her whoring." And a third messenger followed them, saying with a loud voice, "If anyone worships the beast and his tongue, and receives his mark upon his forehead or upon his hand, he also shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Elohim, which is poured out, undiluted, into the cup of his wrath. And he shall be tortured with fire and sulfur before the set-apart messengers and before the Lamb. And the smoke of their great torture goes up forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night. Those worshipping the beast in his image, also if anyone receives the mark of his name." Here is the endurance of the set-apart ones. Here are those guarding the commandments of Elohim and the belief of Yahushua, the Messiah. Therefore, my brothers, as a fellow elder and witness of the sufferings of Messiah, and also a sharer of the esteem that is to be revealed, I appeal to the elders among you. Shepherd the flock. Shepherd the flock of Elohim, which is among you, serving as overseers, not by compulsion, no, but voluntarily, not out of greed or for filthy gain, but eagerly. Neither as being masters over those entrusting to you, but being examples to the flock. And when the chief shepherd appears, you shall receive the never-fading crown of esteem. Therefore take heed to yourselves and to all the flock, among which the set-apart Spirit has made you overseers, to shepherd the assembly of Elohim, which he has purchased with his own blood. For I know this, that after my departure, savage wolves shall come in among you, not sparing the flock. Also from among yourselves men shall arise, speaking distorted teachings, to draw away the taught ones after themselves. Therefore, watch, remembering that for 3 years, night and day, I did not cease to warn each one with tears. And now, brothers, I commit you to Elohim and to the word of his favor, which is able to build you up and give you an inheritance among all those having been set apart. Then Kepha said to them, I'm going to fish. And they said to him, we are also coming with you. They went out immediately, entering into the boat. And that night, they caught nothing at all. But when it became early in the morning, Yehoshua was standing on the beach. However, the taught ones did not know that it was him. Then Yehoshua said to them, Children, have you any food? And they answered him, No. And he said to them, Throw the net on the right side of the boat, and you shall find. So they threw, and they were no longer able to draw in it because of the large number of fish. That taught one whom Yehoshua loved then said to Kepha, It is the master. Then Kepha, hearing that it was the master, put on his outer garment, for he was stripped, and plunged into the sea. And the other taught ones came in the little boat, for they were not far from the land, but about 200 cubits, dragging the net with fish. So when they had come to land, they saw a fire of coals there, and fish laid on it, and bread. Yehoshua then said to them, Bring some of the fish which you have now caught. Kepha went up, dragging the net to land, filled with 153 big fish. And though there were so many, the net did not break. Yehoshua then said to them, Come, have breakfast. And now one of the taught ones had the courage to ask him, Who are you? Knowing that it was the master, Yehoshua came and took the bread and gave it to them, and on the same with the fish. This was now the 3rd time Yehoshua was manifested to his taught ones after he was raised from the dead. When therefore they had eaten breakfast, Yehoshua said to Simon, Kepha, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? Do you love me more than these? He said to him, Yes, Master. You know that I love you. And he said to him, Feed my lambs. He said to him again, the 2nd time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? He said to him, Yes, Master, you know that I love you. He said to him, Shepherd my sheep. He said to him the third time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? Kepha was sad because he said to him this 3 times. Do you love me? He said to him, Master, you know all. You know that I love you. Yahushua said to him, feed my sheep. Truly, truly, I say to you, when you were younger, you girded yourself and walked wherever you wished. But when you are old, you shall stretch out your hands, and another shall gird you and bring you where you do not wish. Now, this, he said, signifying by what death he would esteem Ahim. And having said this, he said to him, follow me. Listen, the howling of the shepherds, for their splendor is ravaged. Listen, the roaring of the lions, for the pride of the Yaren is ravaged. Thus said Yahweh, my Elohim, feed the flock for slaughter, whose owners kill them and feel no guilt. And their sellers say, blessed be Yahweh, for I have become rich. And their own shepherds do not spare them. And the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say to them, thus said the Master, Yahweh, to the shepherds. Woe to the shepherds of Israel, who have been feeding themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flock? You eat the fat, and you put on the wool. You slaughter the fatlings. You do not feed the flock. You have not strengthened the weak, nor have you healed the sick, nor bound up the broken, nor brought back the straying, nor sought what was lost. But you have ruled them with might and harshness. And they were scattered because there was no shepherd. And they became food for all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. My sheep wandered through all the mountains and on every high hill. And my sheep were scattered over all the face of the earth, and no one was seeking or searching for them. Therefore, you shepherds, hear the word of Yahweh. As I live, declares the Master Yahweh, because my flock became a prey, and my flock became food for every beast of the field, from not having a shepherd. And my shepherds did not search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves and did not feed my flock. Therefore, O shepherds, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus said the Master Yahweh, see, I am against the shepherds, and shall require my flock at their hand, and shall make them cease feeding the sheep, and the shepherds shall feed themselves no more. And I shall deliver my flock from their mouths, and they shall no longer be food for them. For thus said the Master Yahweh, see, myself shall search for my sheep and seek them out, as a shepherd seeks his flock on the day that is among his scattered sheep. So I shall seek out my sheep and deliver them from all the places where they were scattered in that day of cloud and thick darkness. And I shall bring them out from the peoples and gather them from the lands, and shall bring them into their own land. And I shall feed them on the mountains of Israel, in the valleys, in all the dwellings of the land. In good pasture I shall feed them, and their fold shall be on high mountains of Israel. They shall lie there in good fold, and feed in rich pasture on the mountains of Israel. I shall feed my flock and make them lie down, declares the Master Yahweh. I shall seek the lost and bring back the strayed. And I shall bind up the broken and strengthen what was sick. But the fat and the strong I shall destroy. I shall feed them with right ruling. And as for you, O my flock, thus said the Master Yahweh, see, I am judging between sheep and sheep, between rams and the goats. It is not enough for you to have eaten up the good pasture, and the rest of your pasture you trample with your feet, or that you should drink of the clear water, and the rest you muddy with your feet. And as for my flock, they eat what you have trampled with your feet, and they drink what you have muddied with your feet. Therefore thus said the Master Yahweh to them, see, I myself shall judge between fat and lean sheep. Because you have pushed with flank and shoulder, and thrust at all the weak ones with your horns, and scattered them abroad. Therefore I shall save my flock, and let them no longer be prey, and I shall judge between sheep and sheep. And I shall rise up over them one shepherd, my servant, the line of David, and he shall feed them. He shall feed them and be their shepherd. And I, Yahweh, shall be their Elohim. And my servant, David, his prince, will be in their midst. And I, Yahweh, I have spoken. And I shall make a covenant of peace with them, and make evil beasts cease from the land. And they shall dwell safely in the wilderness, and sleep in the forest. And I shall make them and the places all around my hill a blessing, and shall cause showers to come down in their season. Showers of blessing they are. And the trees of the field shall yield their fruit, and the earth yield her increase. And they shall be safe in their land. And they shall know that I am Yahweh, when I have broken the bars of their yoke. And I shall deliver them from the hand of those who has enslaved them. And they shall no longer be a prey for the nations. And the beasts of the earth shall not devour them. And they shall dwell safely, with no one to make them afraid. And I shall rise up for them a planting place of name, and they shall no longer be consumed by hunger in the land, nor bear the shame of the nations any more. And they know that I am Yahweh, their Elohim. I am with them, and that they, the house of Israel, are my people, declares the Master, Yahweh. And you, my flock, the flock of my pasture, it is men, and I am your Elohim, declares the Master, Yahweh. Time is running short, Mamashbaka. And if you are so called to be a feeder of the flock, feed them. Feed them the right food. This is Let There Be Light. My name is Brian. See you soon.